Hello, welcome back. It's really good to see you again. So, have you thought more about your trip? Yeah? What country are you have settled on? A couple countries. Well, that's exciting. In what part of the world? Europe. Of course, it's definitely a one of a kind experience to see the history, the heritage, to experience this deep rooted culture. It's very, very delightful. Congratulations on setting your mind on it. So, since you're going to multiple locations, we always want to remind you to learn more about the culture that you're going to be visiting, about the people you're going to encounter, and of course, the most important thing, the language that the people will be speaking there. It's very important to know how to express yourself, how to ask for something, or just to listen to how people talk and what they say, to fully submerge yourself into the situation and the place and have a true feeling of what it feels like to be there. So we always recommend you learning a language before you go, especially multiple locations. And I would like to recommend you our today's sponsor, Babbel. And I've personally been using Babbel app for quite some time now. At this time I have switched to learning a French language, which is actually quite easy to do. You can learn a few languages at the same time. So I love how Babbel creates a structure in their lessons where you're subtly learning way more vocabulary than you thought you would in just a lesson. And their lessons are only 10 minutes long, so it's quite doable and it's easy to feel more engaged all the time. Oui, bien sûr. I like the option to listen to podcasts as it helps me listen to real life speech, and it becomes sort of a game trying to recognize familiar words and phrases. Or you can try an actual game and test your knowledge there too. You can also do live classes with top teachers, and it's literally all at your fingertips. With Babbel, I've discovered how much I enjoy listening to languages too, not just learning them. I've realized how buttery soft French language is. It's just music to my ears.
Oui, bien sûr, avec plaisir.
Oui, bien sûr, avec plaisir. So today you can make a great choice to invest in yourself, to learn a new language with Babbel. And that could be potentially life-changing for you. So click on my link in the description box to get 65% off Babbel, 20 days money-back guarantee. Thank you. So I see you brought my magazines back, okay? And I see you have little markings in them, okay? Okay. And I see you brought some of the notes for me to pay attention to, right? Okay. Well, thank you. That's so very thoughtful of you. Okay. Okay, so let me just take a look at the first one. Okay, and I see here London. So London is definitely a great location to visit. UK altogether is beautiful. I can look for some packages with the most favorite visited places, as well as some unique locations too. Does that sound good? Okay, good. And you know, truly, London is one of those places that you could visit a dozen of times and you'll never run out of things to do. Okay. So I think that's that first one. Okay. Okay. So this one's actually for Britain, right? So you put more specifically the places that you're looking at, okay? Okay. So here I see Big Ben. We'll definitely talk about that. It's one of the key places to discover. Okay, let's see. Okay. The jewels of the Mile. So this is Scotland, and you're thinking about Scotland, right? Okay. I see you've pointed specifically Edinburgh. Always wanted to visit. Hope to see it one day too. Okay. So Edinburgh is definitely one of the locations I'll be happy to add. And so far, these two spots are doing great as far as my packages go that I can create for you. Okay, so the last one, let me just feast my eyes on what else you have marked here for me, okay? I'm so excited to see what other country you're thinking about. Okay. Okay, so I see here again Scotland, Edinburgh. Okay, so it's definitely on the top of our bucket list, yeah? Okay, now we're moving on to France. Oh, how very romantic. So you'll definitely like to learn French then too with me. Okay, so you have your sound. Okay. Oh, okay, and I see you've marked also Buckingham Palace as an option. Is it something you would like to spend a long time discovering? Or more of a drive-by type of excursion and tour? Okay. Okay, well, thank you for telling me that. So I can adjust your program and our package for the London trip then, okay? Okay, thank you for marking this up for me. So now I'll need to type in all of our information that we just talked about into my system and see if I already have pre-existing packages that will suit you the most, okay? And then we can make adjustments as we go. I will need to take some of your information again, just so that I have everything correct, okay? So could you please spell me your name fully? Okay. Is that BH? Okay. Is it double L? Okay, good. Alright. And your date of birth, please? Okay. Your address. Okay. What's the city name again? Oh, okay, that's a cool name. Okay. And the zip code here? Okay, good. Your phone number, please. And are you traveling with your spouse or your family members? Would you prefer first class air travel? Why not, right? Okay. It's definitely worth it. The whole experience starts basically with your air travel. Yes. Okay. Well, I can suggest some airlines for your comfort. We have some ASMR airlines that are very sweet, and there's a few different companies that I can recommend. Okay. So let me see. How soon were you planning on traveling? Middle of, okay. So March. Okay, I'll definitely be able to see if we have any availability for those dates. Okay, so that's all information I need so far. Just see here. Okay. Okay, so let me just start the search. Okay. Okay, so I actually do have this package set up for you. So if you'd like to just come a little closer and can you see this way? Plant, of course. Okay. Okay, any better? Okay, good. So let's take a closer look then, okay? Alright. And so we begin with London. Our UK travels start with the nation's sprawling capital that boasts plenty of attractions to keep you interested and busy during your visit. It is definitely one of the most famous places, and we'll look at different small communities as well as the downtown itself. We're also going to feast our eyes on Big Ben, and it's referred to Great Bell, actually, of the clock that is situated at the north end of the Palace of Westminster. And it is just beside the Houses of Parliament. So Big Ben, of course, is one of those places that are historically recognized as famous places, but truly there's so much to see nearby. The Westminster Bridge, just walking through the streets will give you a sensation of royalty and history, and you'll be able to submerge yourself in scents and visuals and temperature of the United Kingdom, specifically London. Okay, of course, no trip is complete without visiting the London Eye. And it is located at the heart of the city of London. It rotates so peacefully. Circle, circle, circle. Very gracefully over the river of Thames. Just opposite from the House of the Parliament and the Big Ben. Let me zoom in. Gorgeous bridge structure here too. Okay. And then we're also going to visit this place here. This is Tower of London. It's a royal fortress and a World Heritage Site, which is also famous for being a prison back in the day. You can see the towering walls, the small windows, the tall towers with cupola on top. There's so much history to be learned here. You can treat your eyes to the world's famous jewels and riveting architecture. Okay. So from here, we're going to take a look at Scotland. And you were very interested in Edinburgh, correct? Okay. So here it is in its glory, in its most magnificent state. During sunset, every place becomes majestic and magical. A little bit of twinkling lights create an atmosphere of comfort and familiarity, but also the blue tones, the purple tones remind you of the evening, a time to explore but with caution and get closer to being cozy and more relaxed. I personally adore the structure and the architecture of some of the UK housing. I've never been to one inside, so I'm not sure, but outside it sure is charming. So here's Scotland, Edinburgh. It is the perfect mix of the world's flavors of the town, along with the new modern style. And we'll get a chance to visit Kelton Hill. and it is included in the city's UNESCO World Heritage Site. So the National Monument of Scotland was inspired by the Parthenon in Athens. You also see some castle, which is Edinburgh Castle, and it's a magnificent fortress which has been in continuous use for over 1,000 years. And this world famous icon has a very complex complex history associated with it. Right here. Of course, we'll be able to visit many more places in here too. Okay. So let's take a look at France. So feast your eyes on France. France is nestled in Western European countries, holding some of the greatest treasures, such as Paris. Paris needs no formal introduction. It is a synonym with culture, architecture, food, and fashion. One of the first places we're going to visit is going to be Eiffel Tower, the Iron Lady. Eiffel Tower is probably the most well-known symbol of this country, originally built to honor the centenary of the French Revolution. It still stays strong and is possibly one of the most iconic tourist spots in the world. Glorious during the day and night. So next, the Louvre. The Louvre. Elegance and lavish in style. The French Museum of Louvre is one of the world's largest museums. It has over 330,000 works in store, displaying such artworks of Leonardo da Vinci, Vermeer, Michelangelo, and Rembrandt. And this dome is a part of the exhibition too, part of the experience. This is also part of it. It's also one of the largest in the world. Now we're moving on to Arc de Triomphe. The Arch of Triumph is one of the most monumental of all the arches in Paris, as it was built in the remembrance of soldiers who gave their lives for the country during the leadership of Napoleon. It symbolizes the pride of French, and it's beautifully located in the heart of it. in the heart of it all. Look at the details here. This is what I love about the architecture in France and really Europe, is that it has so much history, so many unique elements that are very specific to a certain era in time. It's a living sculpture from the past. This horse is magnificent. Okay. Of course, the manat. Okay. So then I wanted to offer you to try something different. And this is Bordeaux. Yes, Bordeaux. It's a culturally rich location that harbors the best wine, the most gracious of Gothic architecture that leaves the beholder awestruck. It's on the smaller side, but I find it to be deeply rooted in culture of France, and you get to experience a smaller scale and look into more true French living versus the most touristy spot. So, would you like this addition to your request? Bordeaux? Okay, wonderful. Thank you. So, on that note, I wanted to say thank you so much for coming over. I'm going to see you soon again once I prepare all of the paperwork. Thank you so much for coming over. Goodbye.